Man, I tell you what, nothing makes racist white people more pissed off than me, a white person, trying to educate about racism and trying to educate about what white privilege is and all these things. And it's so funny because these same people will argue with me till they are blue in the face about how they're not racist and we don't live in a racist institution and black and brown people have it so easy and racism doesn't exist anymore. But then they will turn around and say the most racist, ignorant, vile shit you've ever heard in your life. The disconnect is amazing. And this is why I make content like this, because it's so important, because we do live in a racist institution and we are all raised in racism as white people. This is simply a fact. And the crazy part about it is every one of us knows this. Even the ones who will sit there and fight with me to the death about it and act like it doesn't exist. Y'all know white people are racist. Y'all know about the casual racism, the casual microaggressions that we are raised in, no matter where we live in this United States of America. And this is why I will never stop. I will never stop trying to educate as a white person about racism and how we need to learn. We need to evolve. We need to do better. It's almost as if they feel like admitting to a racist institution or admitting to racism makes them this evil, terrible person. And so they would rather double down than to grow and be a good person. And that's so bad, because all that says to me is that you have a small mind and a cowardly soul. And I wish better for you than that, truly, because everything in your life will get better when you stop being so ignorant.
Guys, welcome back to my channel. Thanks for being here. So white people talk about the bad effect of being racist and how white people do not accept the black community, right? And the inhumane treatment given to the black folks. They also talk about how racism is being taught in white families to their children, which is being passed down from generations to generations. Anyways, credit to the original creators. Let's keep watching. We'll be back for the commentary.
Hi, I'm Kylie, and here are the top 5 ways that hatred is passed on in white families. This is definitely a topic that not a lot of white people like to talk about because they prefer to stay race neutral or at least not air their dirty laundry in public, but I do have some things that I want to say. The first way that white people pass on hatred to their kids is literally at the dinner table. I can't even tell you how many times I'd be at another white person's house growing up, and their mom or dad would say something racist and look to their kid like they made a joke and wait for the kid to react. So in that way, the racist remark serves almost as a point of bonding between the parent and the child. The second way that it's passed on is in sports, especially if a white family or a white team is playing against a team that is primarily people of color. White people will say racist things. Did you see that defender? She was really aggressive, and other microaggressions that get passed on to the child. The third way is by discouraging their children from being friends with people of color because of certain innate qualities that they may have. Number 4, moving their kids to an all-white suburb. Number 5, praising celebrities and politicians that are racist.
Did you know that a doctor is more likely to amputate your limb if you are black? I provide patient advocacy tips and how to navigate the healthcare system in order to stay safe. And one thing that isn't talked about enough in general is racial disparity within healthcare. I did a research paper in college about racial disparity for black pregnant women. And black infants' mortality is 2 times higher than white. You are 3 times more likely as a black woman to pass from pregnancy-related reasons than a white woman. And preterm births are higher. Maternal mortality rates have overall, the rates have dropped, but the racial gap of the mortality has risen. This extends beyond just women and childbirth. You are less likely to be referred to a pain specialist, and you are more likely to be screened for substance abuse if you are black. According to the American Medical Association Journal of Ethics, black people are more likely to have limbs amputated. And that is because white people have a higher chance of being provided interventions to save the limb than black people. Racial biases influence quality of care. I've done a lot of videos on how women in general are not heard within the healthcare system, and that men are much more likely to receive, to be listened to receive care. Now imagine you are a Black woman. You're already at a disadvantage as a woman. You are at an even greater disadvantage as a Black woman. This is unacceptable and it needs to be talked about. How do you educate for yourself and about your health? The first thing is ensure that you are educated about your health. Have an understanding of your health conditions. Secondly, ask questions. Are there alternative treatments available? Why is the doctor recommending this? Are there other things to consider? Find culturally competent providers. Have a copy of your records, your test results, and know your rights. Know your rights to a second opinion. And as healthcare clinicians, there are racial biases, there are racial disparities, and we probably have them. So everyone needs to take a good look at themselves and ensure that we are treating and advocating for patients equally.
I don't know if people aren't understanding the gravity of what happened to me and what happens to a lot of people of color everywhere. Like, even though, thank God, myself or my friends, we didn't get physically hurt, but like, what if they weren't just hurling words and trash? What if they was hurling bullets? It's Mother's Day today. Like, 3 mothers could have lost their children over something so dumb. Something that was a choice, first off. Something that was a choice, because y'all didn't have to do that. Y'all could have just been happily driving around in your pickup truck and your fancy car, but instead you want to swarm 3 Black people minding their business in a parking lot. It's Mother's Day. Do you think my mom wants to take me to the police station to file a police report?
Are we seriously mad about people wanting to have a whites-only community? Let's not forget the fact that we always label things Black own this and Black own that. So a white man, Eric Arwal, wanted to establish his own town for his own people, white people. He wanted to control who he had as neighbors. His goal is to preserve the purity of his culture and traditions. So what are we mad for? Let's not forget, a couple years ago, Ashley Scott and Renee Walters got together and created their own community, their own Black community. They wanted to create generational wealth and keep their legacy and culture. So I'm confused. What's the problem when the white people want to do it? And I know what you're going to say. You're going to try to bring up history and that victimization mentality. We're not doing that. We are not doing that. That happened many years ago. We're talking about now. We're not going to continue to bring up the past. At one point, we did have Black Wall Street. And yes, it was destroyed. However, we had the ability to rebuild and we didn't. We were defeated. So we're not going to continue to play the victim. This is a voluntary self-segregation, not a forced one. Get over it.